Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third annual conference of the Academic Parity Movement. My name is Murtaza Mahmoudi, and on behalf of the directors and advisors of the Academic Parity Movement, I would like to thank you for taking the time to join us today as we talk about the current discrepancies between institutional policies and actions in response to the cases and complaints of academic bullying and harassment. Okay, so I would like to provide a brief introduction about the history of the academic parity movement. So my colleague, Ms. Saya Hajabi, and I basically started academic parity movement in early 2019 as a external resource, a nonprofit external resource for targets of academic bullying and harassment. And basically, the message of this nonprofit organization was easy. The same human rights that apply outside the lab also apply inside of it. So we had set three major goals for the academic parity movement. The short-term goal was to increase awareness among stakeholders. And I can't emphasize enough that awareness among stakeholders is one of the key aspects of addressing academic bullying. And the reason is that, at least from our experience, institutional alone don't have enough motivation and also the tools and courage and basically intention to address academic bullying by their own. So the need for involvement of funding agencies, other gatekeepers are essential in addressing academic bullying. So the main goal, the initial goal, was to increase awareness among stakeholders. The midterm goal, which we actually started a few months ago, is to kind of empower targets. We basically at Academic Parity Movement try to provide financial aids for covering the psychological help that targets need or the legal advice that they need to pursue their cases. And the long-term goal is to make a platform that all the stakeholders can basically collaborate with each other to finally put an end in this age-old scientific issue. So in order to basically satisfy these goals, we needed to have experts in the field. So we contacted leaders in the field, and we were fortunate enough to have 4 of the leaders to join academic parity movement: Dr. Moss, Dr. Swan, Dr. Hollis, and Dr. Kishley. They are like the core advisors of the academic parity movement, and with their help and instructions, we basically ran a couple of global surveys in the field. And one of the major findings that we had was that academic bullying does not affect all of the scientific fields equally. This means that if we want to have a guidelines and we want to basically understand the ecosystem, we need to develop kind of discipline-specific strategies to address academic bullying. So we basically reached out to many scientists around the globe from different scientific fields and different cultures, and we were fortunate again to have many of those as an advisory panel at the academic parity movement that help us to basically make better awareness and reach our goals in a better way. So what we have done so far was that we just finished the short-term goal with the increasing awareness. Basically, the directors and advisors at the Academic Parity Movement have published over 30 papers in different journals, including Science, Nature, Nature Human Behavior, eClinical Medicine, and so forth. We also conducted a couple of global studies and surveys to better understand the bullying and harassment ecosystem. And we also informed various stakeholders, including funding agencies, about the outcomes of the surveys and how basically the targets needs to be supported in a better way. And we also provided external support to targets. So far at the Academic Parity Movement, we have received over 1,800 complaints, and we provided over 800 informal advice to the targets. And a few months ago, we basically started our midterm goal by providing financial aid to cover legal advice and also trauma experts and other costs that targets of academic bullying and harassment and discrimination may face on. So while we were basically preparing for the third annual conference, like I mentioned, the title was on the discrepancy between policies and actions by institutions to the case of academic harassment and bullying. One of our advisors actually had a recent experience with that. So I asked Dr. Suzanne Tuber to share her stories about what were the differences between the guidelines that encouraged her to basically make a complaint about her case and what she basically received as an action. So we thought that would be very helpful to our audience today, and Dr. Tuber was very kind to accept the invitation. So Dr. Tuber, the virtual floor is yours.